Hi, chat. Hello. How are you guys doing tonight? We got Clyde here acting a little rambunctious, so we gotta take him. And here's your treats, Bubba. I'm gonna have to set you on the ground because you're like trying to jump off me and shit. So we can't have that here. Chat will lose their mind if you start daredeviling. I know. Mwah. You're such a good boy. I mean, look at him. He's like, and there's Laney barking. So I'm gonna set you guys. I'm gonna set you down, okay, buddy? All right. I know. Clyde, there's no easy way to do this. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. It's okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. See? Now you're safe. Now you're safe. You guys say hi to Clyde. And we're going to set you down. All right. So, with that said, hi, chat. Welcome. It is a bit of a quasi-chilly night out here in Ohio. It's 65 degrees today. And I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Anyways, my name is Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I am an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And tonight we are talking about the Alyssa Mercante JT Smash lawsuit. There's actually been some updates, and if this like it's serious, like we're gonna have to well, you'll wait till we see what we're talking about here. But yes, this is really a lawsuit. It's a lawsuit, just as you would expect it. Now, Alyssa Mercante, and now I said Mercante, chat. Mercante. Alyssa Mercante is a games journalist. Yes, there are journalists who talk about games. And hold on, chat. I gotta get the door because she's losing her mind right now. Sorry about that. 2.0 is out tonight, so every time she hears a noise, she's like, "Oh, it's 2.0 home," and she's like losing her mind. So I don't really know what to do about that. Anyway, we are. If you guys remember over the summer, she would do the woo thing out the door. So, anyways, Alyssa Mercante is a games journalist who kind of sucks at her job. It's just really toxic and garbage, and not very good at what she does. SmashJT is, you could argue, commentary community, kind of like Gamergate, counterculture, the culture conf type of commenter. And yeah, he just like, why can't games be games? I just want to play games and all of that. Well, JT made multiple statements, including one of the biggest ones, alleging that Alyssa Mercante is a whore, a whore, as you might say, depending on where you're from, and that she has engaged in sex work and engaged in sexual activity for money, which would make one a whore. Now, Alyssa has sued him for defamation, and that's where things kind of kept off. We left off with the lawsuit being filed, and then at that point, we discussed that JT, through his attorney, Ron Coleman, had filed a pretrial and a pre-motion letter. And some of you guys might say, well, what's a pre-motion letter? And this is a thing typically done out on the East Coast. This is a very East Coast thing, that you do motions and you do response to the things and just general things to the court in the form of a letter. We've gone over the stuff involving President Trump when he was dealing with stuff in New York City. All those things are done by letter. It's an East Coast thing. And you remember, guys, everywhere is different in America. So on the East Coast, especially in the Northeast, they use letters. Well, this judge specifically, she wants you to file a letter with the court saying, here's what I'm going to do. You basically have to provide notice before you even file your motions. Now, remember, you might say, well, that doesn't sound fun. That seems kind of ridiculous. Why don't I just file the motion? When you're a judge, you get to do this. This is what you get to do. You get to remember, you have like baseline rules. Like in this case, we're doing a civil lawsuit. So you have the rules of civil procedure. Okay. And then you have, case law that interprets a civil procedure. And then you have the actual like allegations and case law to interpret those. And then on top of that, you get into like the local rules of your court. You have the rules of evidence, other things. And you end up with like the rules of court for where you're at, which they're in the Eastern District of New York. It's got its own set of rules. And then for each judge has their own rules. And those judges have different rules for criminal and civil cases. It's very common in federal court to have different rules per judge. Every judge, you get to do it. You get to do what you want. You are the judge. When you're at like a trial court level, like here, like In Ohio, do I have that? Yeah, there's judges who have generally it's only for civil cases, but they sometimes will have their own rules and their ways they like things done. Why? Because when you're a judge, you get to do whatever the fuck you want. And people they have to listen. The attorneys can't walk in and say, nah, we ain't doing that. It isn't how that works. So when you're a judge, you get to do things the way you want. In this case, Ron Coleman filed a letter, and we're going to go over that one real quick, just so you guys understand what we're talking about here. And it's basically his notice of, we're seeking a motion to dismiss. Here's what it's going to be, and here's what's in it. And then from there, Alyssa Mercante's team has filed a response, and they're saying, look, Judge, here's what we want to do. And we want to oppose it. And this is how this goes back and forth. This is the dance. So I hope that kind of caught everybody up to where we are. I hope that's the fast catch up to this. Walter Malone, hello, and the Minority Reporter. Thank you. That's a new face here in the crowd. Thank you for being here. The Minority Reporter also says, let's sandwich. Sinning, nice to see you. Hello, welcome. It's your first time. Do I own a Glock 18? If not, it's a great injustice. Yes. I wish that was a Glock 18, but that's merely a Glock 17 on the Chairman Juan printout, which I feel like isn't properly aligned because I'm having some issues getting that to run. So hopefully I can get it to the range and just fire a shot and see if it'll break things loose. We'll see what happens. Though. But yes, I wish I had a Glock 18 and just go, but we don't have that. We don't have that option. Lawful Lucas is the best sandwich is the one you make yourself. Just like everything in life, the ones you do yourself, you get the most enjoyment out of. Very true. KRM, how you doing, buddy? Says we need a sandwich emoji. I will work on that tonight while Trump is speaking. Because if you guys are not aware, starting at 8:55, we are going to go over there to another stream and start the Trump joint session to Congress stream. So let's keep going from here. Yeah, Laney. That's all Laney barks. Oh, Mommy Nick and Daddy Aaron are fighting again? Well, mainly it's Mommy Nick flailing around, so not a whole lot we can do there. Yes, we are streaming Trump tonight, so. Wait, journalist doesn't need quotes. It's already a slur. Well, that's true. Yes. Although technically what I'm doing is journalism, and that's really disgusting to me. It's like, I'd rather my mom tell people I sell drugs than be known as a journalist. So. All right, chat. So here, cyanide cologne. That's the greatest thing here. Yeah, SmashJT covered the what's his fuck gamer thing. The fat guy who stole money from charity that Carl Jobst and Woodhart covered. Yes. Gerard the completionist. Yes, he's like my mom's Alzheimer's thing. The Open Hand Foundation. Yes, from your open hand into his fucking pocket. Like I looked at that. That motherfucker. Those guys. Yeah, the scamming sons of bitches. Scamming motherfuckers. When we try to, we save up the money to get to charity. Bullshit. So, all right. Anyways, chat, here we go. It's time. Who's worse, a completionist or Melanie Mack? I mean, can they both win? They both can win. We can have a tie. They can have a tie, chat. I'm willing to give them both the dub. So, all right, chat. So here we go. And we're just going to recover what Ron Coleman filed because I do think it just allows us to kind of catch up here. So we've already covered this. Remember, this is from, oh, God, it's like 2 weeks now. A little over 2 weeks. But that's how time flies, chat. That's how time flies. So here we go. And this is just a review real quick. They are seeking to file a motion to dismiss pursuant to a couple of different parts of the federal civil rules of procedure. Obviously, you guys remember the basic one, 12b-6. Failure to state a claim upon which relief cannot be granted. And that's the one we have here. And they say also appropriate relief under New York's anti-SLAPP statute, which New York has a pretty healthy one. Not as good as Ohio, which Ohio just got. And I'm going to cover that in depth because Ohio's got a banging anti-SLAPP statute. There's also other things they are going to attack. And this is 12B1, a lack of personal jurisdiction. Now, personal jurisdiction is important, Chad, because the court has to have the jurisdiction to hear the case, but you have to have jurisdiction over the person or the entities involved, the parties involved. If you don't have jurisdiction over them, you can't adjudicate the case. So, for example, I've never been to the state of Hawaii. I have no contacts with Hawaii. I don't have anything to do with Hawaii. If one of you lived in Hawaii and tried to sue me there, that's not fair to me. I've never been there. I've never had business there. No reason. I have no contacts with the state of Hawaii. It would be unfair to hail me in to a foreign court that I've never been to, in a state I've never been to. It forced me to defend a case. So that's why personal jurisdiction is critical. And remember, Chad, I've mentioned this case before. There's a case that's in Supreme Court lore, and it's also part of civil procedure. It's called International Shoe, and it's all about whether or not things work as far as establishing personal jurisdiction. And this is where they come up with minimal contacts. So minimal contacts can be done. You have to have the minimum contacts. And it has to be fair to you to be there. So, for example, do you conduct business? Are you domiciled there? Have you lived there? Did the thing happen there? There has to be those relations to you to have personal jurisdiction over you. And part of this right here, the biggest thing is JT is saying through Ron Coleman, they're looking at this and they're pointing out that there's no allegation that he has business in the state. There are no allegations he has business in New York. He's a resident of California, so obviously he doesn't live in New York. He doesn't have a second home in New York. This stuff, nothing happened here. So the only thing at this point is that he directed his conduct towards a New York resident, which that's not how it's supposed to go. You have to show there's some relation to things here. So personal jurisdiction is a very critical thing here. So they also talk about under New York state law, which says that, except as cases of defamation, you can't use that as a claim in a tort. Normally, if I break your arm and you want to sue me for battery, or if I intentionally inflict emotional distress on you, those would be things where if I did them and there's a relationship to the state of New York, you probably would have personal jurisdiction over me, except for defamation cases. Then they get back to the big one under Rule 12b-6, failure to state a claim. This is just culture war nonsense. It's Kulturkampf, as some of the boys from Austria might say. And they say that there's also tortious interference with prospective economic advantage, trade libel. All these causes of action sound in defamation. So basically, all your stuff's defamation, and you don't have a defamation lawsuit, so you womp womp, you fail. Now, they also point out that she is a public figure. Yeah. And ultimately, it's the actual malice standard that applies. And then, yes, truth is an absolute and unqualified defense to civil defamation. And substantial truth defeats a charge of libel. So they've gone through all this. They point out there is nothing else here. And this is where they talk about Alyssa writing, I used to work a sex blog. She talks about, how did you get in the gaming industry? She says, I suck dick. Now, I'm sure Alyssa's going to say, well, that was all meant to be in jest, or that's clearly tongue-in-cheek or cock-in-cheek, as she might argue. Okay, but, you still said, I suck dick. Could a reasonable person believe you admitting that you suck dick since you talk about how much dick you take and all the fucking and sucking you do? That you went and trolled bars for content? I mean, maybe. Is that reasonable? I think so. We take you at your word. You like dick. Dioc. Happy International Horrors Day. I used to be a cam girl. Sex work is work. I mean, you're celebrating International Horrors Day. You're all alleging that, I used to be a cam girl. So are you alleging that they're kind of like whores? I mean, like your sisters, the sisterhood of the traveling whoreness? Like, what is it? So she talks more about people who tout the merits of late-stage capitalism and screech about consumer rights are somehow against sex work, when it's just in their very lucrative way of making money. You're the one talking about fucking and sucking for $1 bill, Alyssa. So they point out that there's nothing here. This case should be tossed, and they're going to toss it. So that is where we kind of caught up to. Those are the basic elements of what's been addressed here. That's what's been addressed here. Yes. We care because Alyssa needs to suffer. Yes. Alyssa Mercante, not Alyssa Clips, chat. Big difference. Remember, chat, support Alyssa Clips. She is doing God's work out there, clipping it up on the interwebs. So show her some love. Get her, buy a coffee. Give her some super chats. Whatever you guys can. She really does. So. Oh, there we go. And are you guys talking about legal mindset? He's not in here, is he? Oh, I just saw you guys are talking about him, but anyways. So we're going to keep moving on here. We're now going to move on from here because we've already touched on this. I don't want to kind of relitigate it, but those are the big claims. You don't have anything, and we're going to move on. So Alyssa and her attorneys, the lol cows at Cusk, KUSK, and also Remy Green, which you're like, wow, that sounds kind of like a ridiculous name. Well, I mean, imagine that she hires a troon, but yeah, makes sense, I guess. I'm not joking. They filed a letter in response, and they have time to respond just like everybody else. There's something gets filed, and you have a chance to respond. So notice this is in letter format as well. It's dated February 28th, and it's to the Honorable Judge Margot Brody in the Eastern District of New York. So it says, Dear Brody, my firm with co-counsel represents plaintiff in the case above. I always say above caption case, but whatever. It gets the point across. I write per the court's rules to respond to the defendant's pre-motion conference letter. As set up below, plaintiff intends to exercise her amendment as of right under Rule 15A1B, both to address some of what the defendant raises and to address some post-filing conduct that bears on the claims. You know what this means, chat? We have to file because we have to amend because we know we're fucked. They pointed out where we're deficient. They pointed out where our pants were down. Although I'm sure Alyssa's like, oh no, my pants are down. But that's what's going on here. This is a hint. This is a hint, chat. They already know they're fucking taking on what they're taking on water, and a shot hasn't been fired yet. That's how bad this is. They're already taking on water. Imagine if, like, the West Virginia at Pearl Harbor started sinking before the Japanese started attacking. Like, you found out they were inbound and the ship started sinking already. That's kind of where we're at. And however, plaintiff also addresses the substance because some of the theories advanced are meritless. Are they really meritless? If they're meritless, are they frivolous? Because if they are you filing a Rule 11? I know you're not. Remember, chat, the Rule 11 is all about you notifying parties of frivolous and problematic conduct. They have a safe harbor to withdraw things. I'm sure that's not going to happen. So saying it's meritless is kind of an inflammatory and not necessary action here, because if you really thought they're meritless, you'd fucking do something about it. That's just me. If the court has any preference on how to sequence amendments so as to conserve time and resources, but also allow plaintiff to fully respond to the actual theories defendant presents for dismissal, plaintiff would appreciate that guidance. I would follow the fucking rules. Like, there's local rules, fucking read them. Like, this judge has her own extensive set of local rules. Have you never practiced here? Do you not know? I mean, you're the New York Council here, man. You're the New York Council, brother. You got to know this shit. Brother. Is Alyssa paying for this in blowjobs? I don't think so, because his one attorney is a tranny. So I don't think so. I'm pretty sure post-op. So that won't work unless she's gonna. Yeah, that's just not. It's just not gonna work. Moving on from here, though, the personal jurisdiction arguments are meritless. Really, I kind of get the feeling they're pretty important. First, the defendant's argument the court lacks jurisdiction is odd. Is it really odd? because defendant's website, where he made some of the statements at issue, is hosted by Wix.com, which has its primary office in Manhattan. Are you sure that's going to count as a minimal contact? That's pretty that's paper thin, man. That's thin. And in addition, Wix's terms of service have a New York court choice of venue and jurisdiction, noting any litigation regarding the Wix services shall be brought in, and you hereby consent to them being exclusively decided by a court of competent jurisdiction located in New York, New York. That's a agreement between two parties that you are not privy to. You are not party to that agreement. How are you able to avail yourself to that agreement? That doesn't work, man. Are you really going to argue that shrink wrap and EUL agreements and user license agreements and all of that all of a sudden now open me up to personal jurisdiction for everything I've ever clicked accept or yes on? Because at this point, I probably would have accepted personal jurisdiction across the United States, which would be absolutely preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. Absolutely preposterous here. And notice they're quoting this case here, McKee Electric versus Roland Board Corporation. I'm not worried about the 2021 case. It's from 1967. So we know it's not about the internet. We know it's not about the internet. We know that much. But seriously, like, what the fuck? What, like, you know, what are we doing here? Like, how are you going to make this argument that they have now consented to that? That would just be stunning. Like, just absolutely mind-blowing that you think that would be an acceptable option. I mean, you want to talk about arguments, dude? Like, that is just, bruh. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. It just, if this is the best they got, buddy. Ooh, buddy. And, you know, I forgot to look this up earlier. I wanted to do this. We're going to do this one because, you know, this one actually seems interesting. This one seems interesting here. So we're going to cheat here. The Court of Appeals in New York. Here we go. So we've got this one. And we're going to close this out. And we are here. So the Court of Appeals. All right. So what is this about here? They talk about no, real personal property, telephone listings, anything. Its products are sold in New York State by distributors. Okay, and they go through here with distributors, which order products they mail over to Chicago. Personal jurisdiction is not obtained this foreign trade defendant. Okay, the breach took place in Illinois when they sent the letter terminating the distribution. It says jurisdiction cannot be disdained under that. They said the only assertion in the complaint is that jurisdiction be remained. Minimal contacts required are not shown. So they didn't cite the right thing here, but we're going to skip ahead. We're going to go to, you notice it said 382. We're going to go back to this real quick. We're going to go back to this. We're going to do some law shit here, guys. We're going to do some law shit here. This citation here, this 20 New York 2nd, 377, 382, that means the case starts at page 377. We're going to go to page 382. I have the feeling I kind of know what they did here. I kind of have the feeling I know what they did here. So we're going to go. Here we go. So this is what they've made the argument for here. This is what they've made the argument on. And I just, Alyssa, tranny bros, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good here because what is the argument that they're trying to allege? Purposely availing yourself to protections conducting in the state and invoking benefits and protections of its laws. Yes, this is basic bitch. Right here, chat. This is the basic bitch elements of what a minimal contact is. Is this asserting personal jurisdiction? Well, here we go. Now, let's go on to this. What are they talking about? They cited this. Okay, and they say there's no fixed standard by which to measure minimal contacts. True. And this is, notice, chat, we'll go back up to the top here. You can get the quick rundown of stuff. Look what happened here. They said ultimately, nor could jurisdiction be shown here, and it didn't look like it was shown. So what are you trying to get at here? And so yeah, they talk about here. Look, in this case, the order appealed should be affirmed. If this guy committed insufficient here, he could sue elsewhere. So this case you're citing doesn't help you. You're just going for a basic statute. Okay, well, yeah. How are you going to get more from this? You're not. So they say, in this case here, they're looking at the contacts are rather being minimal or so infinitesimal that the jurisdiction can't be sustained. Like, why would you want to go through all of this here, citing a case like that? I don't really know. I don't know. You'd want to cite something that helps you, but whatever. Because notice in that case, it was a company selling stuff, and they said, wait, that doesn't count. This wasn't good enough. There is no issue about the forum non-convenes. Like, this whole fact pattern here is not supported by this law they cite, this case they cite. And here's the thing, chat, when you do this blah, 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 blah happened. You should be citing something where you can say this makes it applicable. Right now, you haven't done anything. You know, and here's the point. They can't find anything where your venue of law choice and your end loser license agreement, anything you agree to like that, establishes a minimal contact. If they had something like that, they would show it. They don't have it, and that's their problem here. That's their problem here. They're citing shit that doesn't happen. So this is all right here. This is all just fucking fluff. This is bluster and bullshit from them. And I apologize. I didn't have the chance to look at this earlier. But this is I'm giving up yelling at chat for Lent. Yeah. Oh, this is really bad. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't get it. This is fucking pathetic. I mean, shit, Ron's going to be able to fucking put this on easy mode. Ron's paralegal is going to be able to sit there and knock this out. I mean, really? Like, come on. Even my Schnauzer Bichon Fries mix is offended by this lawyering. Mr. Green. So anyways, yes, there were purposeful actions that have taken place in New York. Okay, well, you still haven't done it. You still have this is not acceptable. This doesn't work, chat. I'm trying to tell you. Like, whatever this is, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like, this court venue and jurisdiction thing, like, this ain't it. This ain't it right here, guys. This is the court choice of court, the venue and jurisdiction. Like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fucking work. You know, you can't find, like, and remember, chat, contracts forever have had jurisdiction clauses in them. Also, it's known as like a forum non-convenes. So the idea they can't find anything to support them in 100 years of court precedent is kind of like sad. You can't find nothing. Although we take, once again, chat, remember, we take that as a hint of what's going on. So here we go. So this is all just bluster. This is all just bullshit right here. This is all just bullshit. It's just not going to work, chat. Okay. We're just going to put the X through it because this is garbage. It's garbage. The second one for the non-defamation claims, things are easier. Are they really easier? Are you sure about that? Are you sure these are easier? I don't know about that, chat. I don't know about that. This is not impressive. This is not impressive here, chat. So what do we have? Well, it says Geo Media, Gooners Oblivious Media, I assume. The parent company of Alyssa's former employer, Kotaku, is located in New York. a defendant conducted a harassment campaign labeled End Kotaku directed at the employees of a New York business and that New York business itself for the accomplished purposes of ending plaintiff's career there. It sounds like Kotaku and Geo Media have the claim. I mean, is your argument if I go out there and start screaming about, end Ford, every guy working on the fucking assembly line has the right to come after me for interfering with their business relationships? That's absolutely fucking preposterous. That's nonsense. That's laughable. That is laughable. I mean, I get it. You guys are stable of lolcow lawyers, but holy shit, bro. Wow, you guys are like, no, we're seriously making these arguments. Like, really? Really? This is one of your arguments here? Because notice, you're talking about what happened here he did to Kotaku. No, what he did to Kotaku, not to you guys. Like, he's allowed to interfere. Like, he's allowed to, like, advocate for your employer to go down in flames. You don't have any right to that. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how this works, chat. That's not how this works. Hey, JT, how you doing, man? Thank you for being here. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, getting back to this chat, I just don't. This whole first part, irrelevant. What he may or may not have done to the employer, Alyssa does not get the benefit of. And then on the prima facie toward stochastic harassment claims. Once again, chat, they've going down this road of arguing out, yes. While arguably the gravamen of some of his claims overlap with the defamation, it's not true for the prima facie tort as explained below. Okay, but a bunch of it is. You're acknowledging some of it is. The gravamen for the claims overlap with defamation. So you're admitting, oh yeah, a bunch of this overlaps for defamation. Which means, remember, chat, I think they realize the defamation's going out the window. Remember, they're floundering. They're floundering. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. The defendant's statement, JT's statement, said he recognizes the publication of private information necessarily and inevitably leads to such harassment. Plus his celebratory behavior just after such events occurred. Show he specifically targeted the harassment to reach the plaintiff in New York. His conduct makes no sense otherwise. Does it? I mean, because Alyssa's shit's been out on the internet for a while. I mean, it's not like he personally did all this. I'm just saying. But as Destiny said, I'm just a humble penny lawyer. I'm just a humble penny lawyer. And even today, defendant continues to appear on a New York-based streaming internet program called the Hypnocast. Now, this is where it gets fucking rich, you guys. The defendant has appeared on the Hypnocast show, which streams from the host's home in Long Island, New York. Now, because of that, does that mean I have minimal contacts with Minnesota because I've been on Nick Rekieta's show? Does that mean tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm going live with Bob and Ali Mata on the Defense Diaries podcast? Does that mean I now have minimal contacts in the state of Illinois? No, that would be fucking retarded. I've been on Hayden's Aussie Overlord's thing before. I've been on with Jeff. Does that mean I have now, like, South Korean courts have jurisdiction over me? No, nobody would ever think that happens in a million fucking years. And you guys are saying, wow, they're stretching. Yes, they are stretching really hard. Stretch Armstrong can't even go this far. They are struggling right now. This is awful. This is like, Jesus Christ. This is fucking embarrassing. I mean, goddamn. You know, this is, they're gapping. Well, one of them's a tranny, so they probably gap already. But really, like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work like that. Anyone who comes on my show now that you can now be sued in Ohio because you came on the Fat Man's podcast. Nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever agree to that. And this is a problem here. This is a problem. And I guess this is why I don't like, I could be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Like, I can make $500,000 a year if I just filed shit like this. But I can't because, like, I have, like, an inner thing knowing, oh, this is bullshit. It doesn't work. It makes sense. I mean, yes. Can you be sued? You're in the chat. Chat. You can all be sued in Ohio now. Watch your ass. Watch your ass. I'm just saying, like, that's going to be, like, once again, this is an example of how stupid this argument becomes. You know, somebody super chats. Does that establish minimal contacts? If you give me a super chat, have you now established a business and financial relationship with me? No, that makes no goddamn sense at all. This is bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. But he's been on the Hypnocast a half dozen times, frequently discussing plaintiff. Yes. And in August 2024, the host announced, chat, hold on 1 second here. Hold on. All right, chat, I tried to toss her a treat. She does not want one. So we're going to keep going from here. So in August 2024, the host announced the defendant would become a permanent panel member of the weekend edition of the program, known as the Saturday Night Hypnocast. Okay. I'm on Flashcast. Does that mean, like, I'm a quasi-regular? Does that mean they have jurisdiction where Flash lives? That would be really fucking stupid. And notice they talk about here, yes, he's on the Hypnocast. You know, confirming the connection to this case when the host announced defendant's edition, the advertisement featured defendant flanked by mirrored edited images of the plaintiff. Okay. Yeah, I was on Keno Casino. The Canadians could get me now. This doesn't work, guys. The defendant's presence as a permanent panel member on a New York show, one connected to his harassment of the plaintiff, is for a specific jurisdiction, particularly when combined with the above. That is so fucking thin. That is so fucking thin I can see through it. Holy shit. This is just bad. Yes, by this logic, since I was on Nick's show, I like to go to hedonism also. Which that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Plaintiff states claims on a variety of torts. Okay, and guys, now you might say, wow, this is kind of like, this should be a little more in depth. Remember, this is kind of like a basic summary of things. So this is a summary of what the response would be. So when JT files a motion to dismiss, there'll be a response to it. But, oh, hi, sweetheart. Hi. We're on. Everything good? I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later, baby. Love you. Okay, well, I love you. Mwah. So lovely 2.0 chat just coming in. So the defendant seeks to file a motion to dismiss, essentially exclusively briefing defamation doctrine. While some claims overlap, in particular plaintiff's harassment and prima facie tort claims, are based on separate statements and acts and not merely the same defamatory statement as the defamation claim. Plaintiff is not claiming the personal details like her address and so on the defendant shared are false, nor is she solely claiming reputational harm from the harassment. That places this case outside the narrow rule defendant cite because where the alleged harm suffered by the plaintiff is not precisely the same as that caused by defamation, the court should construe a claim as one for defamation. Now, this, when you get cleaned up, emphasis on original, collecting cases, that's an example of they fucking shoehorned this in there. They fucking shoehorned that in there, chat. That's something when you don't recite the whole quote, they're really shoving that in there. That's not working. That's not working for me. That's not working for me. It says next, the defendant inserts the word whore into statements at issue, where the actual statements are purely factual. Alyssa Mercante was sucking dicks for money. Well, that's what whores do. That's what a whore does. And they talk and they're citing back to things here like, what plaintiff does sucking dicks in her time off for money? But if you're sucking dick for money, that's not really your time off. That's your second job. So you're on the clock. I think that's correct. JT, you were wrong. She was on the clock working. She was just in her second job. So yes, I think it's wrong for you to say she's just doing it in her spare time, because if she's getting paid, it's like an actual job then. So you're not really, when you're working a side hustle, you're not really on a break. So while the use of the word whore as an insult might be susceptible of many meanings, the same is not true about sucking dicks for money. Yes, it's pretty indistinguishable. Like it's very unambiguous. We understand what sucking dicks for money means. Defendant's other arguments about substantial truth also rely on this illusion. Presumably, defendant's not actually making the argument that anyone is free to accuse a woman who has multiple sexual partners of engaging in specific sex acts for money. Notice where we have to go with this, because they have nowhere else to go. This is it's a tranny lawyer, so makes sense. This is a fucking Reddit argument. We're going right into Reddit tier. Or do you have a study for this? This is where we're going, chat. This is Destiny level right here, chat. This is Destiny level. This is sad. I mean, we're gonna have to start there's gonna be discussions about what is the true meaning of sucking dick for money. God, there's some days there's some days I realize people in the law, we just maybe Shakespeare was right. Kill all the lawyers. Kill all the lawyers. Maybe that was right. Maybe that was right all along. They said, lastly, plaintiff has pled actual malice, regardless of whether it is required. Well, if it's not required, why would you plead it? Why would you plead something that's not required? A well-pled complaint, you don't need to put in extra stuff. And also, we'll get down this footnote. It says, defense counsel appeared on stream and said plaintiff is not particularly prominent in her field, seemingly undercutting the public figure argument. That doesn't mean she's not. If you had here's the thing right here, chat. If they had something that would say that, if they had it, once again, if you had a case that agreed with you, you would have cited it. You don't have that right there. It's not going to get you like that. It's not going to get you there. It's not going to get you there. It's not going to get you there. I mean, why would you talk about this? And it says, additionally, Mr. Coleman and JT discussed substance of their communications on litigation strategy, likely waiving privilege. I mean, maybe. Are you going to try a discovery to get a hold of stuff? I mean, what do you here's probably what their discussions say. Oh my God, Alyssa's a dumb fucking retard. Oh my God, these attorneys are fucking retards. That's not going to help you. You're just going to and scream even harder. Do you think JT's sitting there going, oh my God, Rob, what are we going to do? She's got us by the balls. No. This is just absolutely fucking pathetic. They say, but plaintiff's planned amendments also address this by alleging, they're planned amendments. The neat thing about when you are the plaintiff, you control the battlefield. It's a pitched battle, and you show up and stake out the battlefield. You get to choose. You're Darius at the Battle of Gaugamela. You get to pick the battlefield. You get to set up your camp. You get to have your men clear the field and prepare it for chariot warfare. You get to do all of that. You shouldn't have to replan amending like this. You didn't know this was going to happen? You didn't know this was going to happen? You didn't know this was going to happen, brother? But anyways, the plaintiff amendments also address this by alleging the defendant gave necessarily false explanations by the defendant for the source of his claim the plaintiff was sucking dicks for money before working at Kotaku. And did you Okay. Okay, so you had knowledge of these and now you're throwing them in? Like, what's wrong? Like, what are you like? Come on now. Come on now, chat. Like, this is not impressive. I am not impressed. I am not impressed. So all right, hold on, chat. Will do. But yes, so the source was claimed she was sucking dicks for money. Well, before working at Kotaku. I mean, once again, we're gonna really have a discussion about whether or not she was sucking dicks for money. Yes, the TLDR is Alyssa's retarded and she has no grounds and she still is a hoe. Yes, pretty much. She's still a hoe. Now, the real question is what next? What comes next? Soon you'll see. JT Smash is going to take all of her money. Alyssa will be broke. A broke ass whore. You know, I don't know how to keep going from there, but yes. What comes next? The plaintiff intends to amend or at least make the decision on the motion easier. But given the lack of content in defendant's letter, much of the purpose of Rule 15 is not served by an amendment without more detail on what exactly why defendant thinks the complaint is ill-pled. If, for example, the defendant's argument really is the sexist, and notice they're saying that the defendant appears conceding New York law applies, it's relevant that the New York courts have said defamation doctrine needs to be read away from sexist, outdated assumptions, like the one that women are likely to lie about sexual assault. But they do. But they do. They do. Hoes lie. Hoes lie because hoes are mad. Hoes mad. Times 24. It says it really is sexist saw that anyone who has multiple partners may be freely accused of specific sex acts for money. Well, I mean, if you are fucking a lot of people, people might think you're a hoe. I mean, that's just how it goes. Are we going to argue that's not really a thing there? Or is an argument the defendant is so sexist he believes that then there is no little need to amend? On the other hand, one hopes there's a little more meat on those bones. I'm sure you like some meat on your bones, counsel. And the plaintiff would like to amend to address that meat. This just sounds so fucking disgusting. Oh, they're going to fucking give you a lot of meat. They're going to blow you out. And the sad thing is you're going to be like, oh my God, this is great. Yeah. So, Obvious Icarus says, how can I tell this is written by the tranny? Well, by the letterhead, first of all, but yes. This just reeks of, this just reeks. The court's individual practices do not specify whether the amendment as of right should follow a pre-motion letter or a full motion. Thus, while the plaintiff intends to amend, she would appreciate the court's indication on whether it preferred plaintiff to do so before or after a motion, or perhaps slightly better explain pre-motion letter. I'm pretty sure I fucking understood what happened there, Broseph. I understood it. Did you? You didn't understand it, my man. My man. Yes, it's mucho salt. Oh, you can. The salt mines are already running in the Mercante camp, chat.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt.
It's just all salt, chat. It's all salt. Respectfully submitted, J. Remy Green. Honorific pronouns mix they, them, there. This is so... You're in a fucking court document. Oh. Come on. Come fucking on. Come on now. Come on now. This is just, like, obnoxious. Yes, how hard can one person see so hard in one letter? Yes. Oh, my God. It's going to be funny when, this happens here. So now, what happened in response to all of this? Well, there was some responsing. Chat. So, they did seek an order for the they did want a pre-motion conference. They wanted they wanted to have. Why is this? So ultimately, they wanted a pre-motion conference. They're like, Judge, can we get together and look this up? So what did we see happen here? So this action on the 28th, this guy's on court listener, so you could find all of this here. So this action on the 28th is the letter we just read. March 3rd, it says an order denying the letter motion for a pre-motion conference. The court directs the parties to confer and file a proposed briefing schedule for defendant's motion to dismiss and proposed amended complaint on or before March 14th by Judge Brody. Judge Brody, putting the bro in Brody. Well, you saw they were talking about the individual rules here, chat, and this is something where, oh, I got to the wrong thing real quick. What then got filed is something today, and this is hot off the press, and this is something some of you are probably going to look at, and I want to address it. This is a letter from, once again, Alyssa's attorneys, and this is where this is something that's been worked out. It's a joint letter, but somebody has to file it. And typically the plaintiff is the one in charge of this, so it's up to them to get it going. Let's see. Oh, people are talking. So, my firm of co-counsel represents plaintiffs in the above case. Okay, I mean, like, did you really have to, like, we represent plaintiff? Okay. Per the March 3rd minute order, I write jointly with counsel for defendant, meaning Ron Coleman agreed with this, to propose a briefing schedule for the defendant's motion to dismiss. Oh. Am I muted, chat? Hold on, can you guys not hear me? Are you sure? Is it you or me? You slipping! You slipping, babe! She's like, you're muted. I'm like, wait, you guys normally fuck with me. So, anyway, moving on from here. So they talk about in a schedule for the plaintiff's amendment as of right. And this is what you have to do. So, Russell Greer, if you're out there, this is how adults handle legal matters. They meet and confer, and they provide the court with updates. So they say the parties have agreed on following. By March 28th, the defendant's motion to dismiss will be served on the plaintiff. By April 18th, the amendment will be filed or the opposition to be served on Ron and JT. And then by May 9th, JT's reply will be served on Alyssa or the response to amended complaint. Because remember, they could do either or to be filed. So this is the timeline we're looking at right now. This is how far we're going out. We're going out into, like, there's one date in March, there's one date in April, and there's one date in May. This is really getting pushed out there, guys. But this is what parties do. This is actually acceptable. Like, this is good. They're working things out. They're working things out. Now, from here, it says, because the court follows a bundle rule. And it says individual practice, section 3D. And it says, on May 10th, the parties propose filing the full bundle in the event the motion is fully briefed, and otherwise jointly propose a briefing schedule if plaintiff amends and defendant still decides to file a motion to dismiss. Now, this is actually very important. This is, we're going to talk about what the bundle rule is, because this is, like I said, chat, this is how every court does whatever they want. And you can actually go online and Google the individual rules for Margot K. Brody for the Eastern District of New York. And we're going to look at these. You can do these for all the judges there. So they're going to follow a bundle rule. But they also said, if there's an amendment, if plaintiff amends and Ron still decides to file a motion and dismiss, they're trying to figure out what to do and like how they'll handle it. And they're saying, Judge, this is what we're going to do. And the judge will probably sign off on it. And they say, as always, parties thank the court for its time and consideration. Respectfully submitted, J. Remy Green. Now, here's the thing. You might say, well, why isn't Ron Coleman signing this? He doesn't have to. Because up here, she has vouched that Ron Coleman has agreed to this. Because let's say Ron Coleman's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what happened. That would be a big deal. But this is how this works. You don't have to sign joint orders like that. It's not necessary. So what are these individual rules, just so we can see them? And you know what? Hold on, chat. We're going to get the super chats real quick. We got to get these done. Extremely happy simmer for $10 saying, by the way, you are my de facto favorite fat law tuber. You know, this is times like this, chat. Times like this. I kind of like, you guys, just so you understand, I'm kind of like, but I'm the only law tuber, really. So, I mean, that's great. Like, you finished first in a race of one. My favorite OG favorite was Legal Vices. Jeff really wasn't fat. But hey, you're number one now. Well, hey, a Dubs win. You win by an inch, you win by a mile. Winning's winning. The Dubs are Dubs. I'll take them. I'll take the Dubs, chat. I'll take the Dubs. Eric K is a new member, chat. Eric K joining up to fight this gray menace, doing his part to bring these gray heathens under control, bring them to heel.
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you?
Are you doing your part? Got to do your part, chat. You got to make this chat gray free. Gray free, chat. It's got to be gray free. SmashJT for $19.99 for the super sticker. Thank you, JT. I appreciate it. Assholes React for $5. Yes, assholes react by generally going like, unless you're goatsing, and then you're forcing them to react. So it says clearly they did not put the fries in the bag. Well, yes, they don't understand the assignment here. This is not. I'm not impressed by anything that's been filed here by the plaintiff. Assholes React been a member for 2 months. Thank you guys. By the way, saying clearance to carpet bomb the Grays. By all means, you're cleared hot. Take them out. Take them out. It's like a Yemeni wedding or a Vietnamese village, chat. Just all over. All over. Membership stick to kids, chat, just like napalm. Letty for $9.99. Thank you, Letty. Is saying, did you watch the Law Self-Defense stream? No, I was busy today. One of the arguments, are you talking about? Oh, because the Smith & Wesson and the Mexico government lawsuit was today, I think. One of the arguments got to where should gun manufacturing quit selling to certain areas. Having implications on the future doctors and lawyers crowd. Yeah. No, I've not had a chance to go over that. We'll probably do that. I was thinking Wednesday, like tomorrow night, going over that after I get done. Remember, chat, 6 p.m. tomorrow. We hang out with Bob and Ali Mata over on Defense Diaries. But yeah, we'll take a look at that because I did not get a chance to hear it yet. So, but thank you for bringing it up. But yeah, I did not see it yet. Future Mrs. Martin 2.0 says, I'm sorry you had to endure Laney suffering. Chat, I'm home now. Lol. Yes, she is. Okay, let's see here. Stabby McStabwood says, I hope JT wins every dollar from Alyssa she was ever paid to suck a dick. That would be funny. It's like, well, have you ever sucked a dick for money? Yes. Please, we need you to open your books and account for every dick you've sucked for money. Please provide all ledgers and business expenses. Please provide your tax returns. Dick sucking expenses in our tax returns. That'd be funny. That would be funny. Permaseal Finishing. Thank you for $49.99. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you need some finishing done, call Permaseal. When you need it sealed permanently, call Permaseal. Says, hello, Sean. Well, hi. The black hole known as the Chitverse sucked me in a year ago. Self-distraction is a way of life over there, and guess who's a part of it now? Yuck. Yeah, self-distract, guys. Yeah, trust me. The internet The internet has so many, it's just like people climbing a mountain, a glacier. There's so many crevasses you could fall into. You don't even realize it. Well, good to see you, man. It's been a little while. Happy to see you around. Thank you. Extremely happy Simmer says, please don't die of a heart attack, by the way. I'm doing really good to work on that. I am working on that. So I don't want to either. I don't want to either. Thank you. And then assholes react for was this did you mean like you did it twice, and if you only meant to do it once. Either way, thank you for 40 subs, chat. 40. That is just, it's like playing Call of Duty and you're like, do not level the church, and you're just like, boom, with the AC 130, just, don't level the strobe lights. You're just like, boom. Thank you, Assholes Reacts. I appreciate it. Guys, Assholes Reacts, you can see them every Sunday night at 9 p.m. here on YouTube or whenever 3 beers. Or actually, was it whiskey this past couple of times having like the, his tummy was wobbling? I think I forget which one of you it was, but guys, they are generally pretty good. I've been on with them a couple times. Very fun time. Whiskey 77 and 3 beers. I'm still grading my dick out for now. Oh, chat. He came back around looking for more survivors. Chat. The rubble cleared, and he hits you all with a secondary with 20 more. 20 more. All you gray hats out there, it's like watching Syria. You throw a barrel bomb out of a helicopter, then all the white helmets show up. You throw another barrel bomb out of the helicopter. You're like, surprise! Suffer, Gray, suffer. You're under constant attack. You are immune. We'll find out. Won't we? Oh. Assholes Reacts says, I made 3 passes. Oh, well, that works too. LOL every Sunday at 9 Eastern. Yes. Future Mrs. Martin 2.0. Playing with the house money, chat. Playing with house money. Comes in and drops 50 more. 50 more, chat. I mean, watching them both roll in hot like that. Here they go. That's all you can describe. And assholes coming in, man. Assholes came in. Not gonna lie, that'd be a fun way to run a minigun. What are you aiming at? I don't know. Just painting the ground. But yes, thank you for the super. Thank you for the membership, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Thank you, baby. I love you very much. Thank you for the support. I mean, thank all of you. Assholes React, thank you for support. Eric K, thank you for the support and generosity. But yes, thank you, my muse. She really is my muse, guys. I'm not joking when I say that. So thank you, babe. Maximilian says, you see the DSP interview on Steve Cambian's channel? Yes, Steve, True Seeker. Fucking hilarious work he does out there. And I mean that in a good way. It was hilarious watching the interview. Guys, a True Seeker, he's been on Kino Casino a couple times. He was on the election night stream. Steve's a great guy. He does a great job at just showing all the bullshit in the ufology community. It's really good. I enjoy his stuff. He's a great guy to talk to. I've talked to him a couple times. Very funny guy. And the after reaction on the casino was hilarious. I did not see the reaction. I do need to watch that at some point. If Alyssa clipped it, I'd watch it on Alyssa clips, but I'll have to go find it on. I'll have to go find it out there. Christy Dio says, I'm still dodging the strafing run. Well, you better keep running. Hell-raising Angel says, I think Sean likes the Grays, really. Harbor Walber says, the ophthalmologist of Aleppo going ham with the barrels. Oh my gosh, if you know, chat. That's a great joke. Oh, I guess if you don't know, I'll fill you in. Bashar al-Assad was an ophthalmologist by training. Oh, and then J-Rock with 20 more subs. Let's go, chat. Let's go.
We know we're under attack! We know it! We're breaking the conditioning! We're coming for you, globalist! Coming for you! Coming for you! We know what you're doing!
That's right, That's right, Grableist. The Grableist. The Greys out there, we're coming for you, Greys. We're coming for you. Your global agenda will not survive. No more painting thermite paint on the buildings. We're not going to let you do that anymore. We're not going to let you destroy us. No more brother wars. That is the option for fighting the Gray Menace, chat. If you don't want to fight another brother war, stop the Grays. Stop the Grays. They've been behind everything. They're behind it all. I'm just saying, chat, 109 countries the Grays have been run out of. You think about that yourself. So, all right, chat. So we're going to move on to this thing I wanted to show you guys real quick. And this is the actual rules, because you saw they were quoting this stuff, and knowing the local rules for what court you're in is really fucking important. So this is Judge Margot Brody's rules if you want to be in front of her. And is it, can you say like, oh, shucks, I'm a big old tard if you don't know the local rules? Can you get away with this? I mean, yes, maybe. What it does, though, is if you show up into a court and you already know your local rules, you look good in front of the judge, especially you never been there before. Judge is going to be impressed. You took the time to read the fucking rules. So this is all the information if you need to get a hold of her. This is her case manager. This is going to be a very critical person. This is like a bailiff or a judicial assistant in that regard. This person's in charge of running the docket. So this is somebody you never want to fuck with. Never want to fuck with one. So unless otherwise ordered by the court in a specific case, matters shall be conducted in accordance with the following rules for her. Now, I'm assuming a lot of the judges have similar ones. It kind of looked like it. So they talk about like electronic case filing, how you file stuff under seal, review of ECF, that's electronic filing submissions. It gets to courtesy copies. Now, what's a courtesy copy? This is actually something not every judge is big on, but I always ask because you kind of need to know. You kind of need to know if a judge wants courtesy copies because it's kind of a big deal. A courtesy copy allows you, and I was in the wrong PDF here. A courtesy copy is when you provide the judge directly with a copy. So, for example, I'll file a motion to suppress. It's going to take a couple of days. Clerk's going to get it. It'll get into the file, and eventually that'll make its way to the judge. Instead, you take an extra one that's time-stamped. You get one, they stamp it. And if it's electronic filing, I can email it to his judicial assistant. It's up to them. It's their preference. But I take that one and I walk it down the hallway to the court and go, hey, you're the bailiff or the judicial assistant, whoever. Here's a courtesy copy of a motion I just filed and served on the prosecutor. And then the court has it, and it's just for courtesy. So courtesy copies are a big deal. Courtesy copies are a big deal. Hi, Hella. How you doing? Good to see you, by the way. You can't talk much. You're fighting a cyclone. Or no. That's not good. She's probably also fighting the Chinese Navy out there. So we move on to requests for adjournments or enlargement of time. That just means continuances. Now we move on to the 3 here. Motions. They have the pre-motion conference request. And they talk about what else you could do here. Memorandum of law, briefing schedules, filing of motion papers. And they talk about, as a courtesy of the court requests that parties refrain from filing motion papers until the motion's been fully briefed. So what does that mean? You do it all at once. You do it all at once. And I think there is hold on here. I forgot where it is. BUNDLE. I lost it. But anyways, this is where you get to it. You file everything at once. This is that bundle. issue. So if you guys have never seen that before, that's what the bundle is. That's what the bundle is, chat. So you wait until everything is done. Also, real quick, when you're seeing this here, so if the parties elect to file their motion only once it's fully briefed, the notice of motion and all supporting papers will be served on the other parties with a cover letter setting forth whom what's being served. On the day the motion is fully briefed, each party shall electronically file its moving papers. In addition, the moving party, meaning in this case, it'll be Ron saying we're moving to dismiss, shall furnish chambers with a full set of courtesy copies of the motion papers together with a letter specifying each document in the package. Courtesy copies should only comply with Rule 1D of these rules. A copy of the cover letter shall be sent to the assigned magistrate judge and opposing counsel and shall also be electronically filed. So we're going to get some of this. But notice how strict, and this is very elaborate. You don't do this in state court. This is federal court. Federal court is very hoity-toity. You know, it's like SpongeBob, you know, like pinky up, chat, pinky up, higher, SpongeBob. That's where we're at here. So this is important. This is important here. So that's why they're mentioning it. And I just thought that was, aside from the fact I think their motion's dog shit, I thought it was important to address that because what does all that mean? If you guys have never seen it before, that's what that stuff means. And I thought it's critical for us to talk about it. So that is that's a thing. MK 1400. That's a lot of, is it like MK Ultra is that the MK Ultra that they it's like the T1000 going after the T800. It's the successor program. It's like Treadstone and Blackbriar. You have MK Ultra and you have MK 1400. It says, I had to talk to a solicitor today and was told they aren't the same as lawyers. So what the fuck is a solicitor? I'm assuming you're in the Commonwealth. So there are two types of attorneys traditionally in Commonwealth countries like Britain, Australia, New Zealand. I think Canada is not as big a deal on this, but it's the traditional British Commonwealth. A solicitor is the attorney who does transactional work. He does like things in an office setting. He doesn't go to court. The barrister is the guy who goes to court and wears the wigs. Now, in America, you can be a barrister and a solicitor all in one. Now, there are attorneys who stick to just being transactional. There are attorneys who primarily do litigation, but there's no specific, like, that's not a distinction here. So I'm assuming you are somewhere in a foreign country, probably like Australia, New Zealand, or Britain. So that is the difference. Now, what they might call as a lawyer, you know, maybe you mean barrister, because a barrister is the guy who goes to court. Now, there's and the way we handle things here in America is different. To be an attorney, we do it completely different. So there you go. Yes, solicitor is like Alyssa Mercante. A barrister is like a high-end escort. Yes. Yes. So that's a very good question. Thank you for asking that. I appreciate the questions like that. I appreciate that. That was very, very interesting. Yes, now I'm a sandwich lawyer. Okay. So Augusto Pinochet just says, you won't catch me greens. I was born in the... You won't catch me. You won't catch me greens. I was born in the gray. I was molded by it. Yes. David's saying chaff flare. Oh, yes. I'm sure you grays are just jinking and bobbing and weaving.
Chaff flare, out, chaff flare, low, jammer.
Yeah. There ain't no running, chat. Grays, there ain't nowhere to run. You're getting boxed in by them Sams. You keep hitting that doorbell on the side, there ain't no more chaff popping out. If you guys ever seen Top Gun Maverick, when they're hitting that thing on the side of their canopy rails, that's called the doorbell, and that's the emergency countermeasures, like immediate countermeasure reaction. You hit that button, you just start shitting flares and chaff out to just deceive missiles. So Oh. Let's see here. What is Real talk? Have you ever checked out Matt Kim? I maybe I know who he is. I don't know, like, what does he do? As long as he's not the guy who shoved like as long as he's not shoving like glass shards up his, hoo-ha. But no, this guy actually like gets to interview real fucking people. Are you talking about this guy who, like, interviews like Sean Ryan and shit like that? Oh, there ain't no guy who's ever gonna have me on like that. That'd be great, but yeah. I'll take a look. This guy talks to people here. Let's see. So, I'll take a look at that. But if that's who you're talking about, I'm like, I ain't getting people like that to come talk to me. There's 6 million grays. Well, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. So, you get those USAID checks. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Of course you do. Of course you do. Harry groaning due to the G's, and he sounds panicked a lot. Oh. Augusta says that video of the F-16 fighter pilot dodging all those SAMs is a wild video. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have ever want to Google it, it's you want to hear a guy fighting for his life. It's 1991 and he's over Baghdad and he's part of a flight that's part of a strike package and he gets separated and he's kind of all alone. And the Iraqis just start launching surface SAM missile after SAM missile after him. And he has to keep evading him, and he almost passes out from evading him for putting so much G-force on his body. And you can hear him panic, and I'd be panicking too. I'd be, pretend the plane could fly with me in it. But I'd be like, oh my God, there's a flying telephone pole at me. And I'd be like going every which way. And it's like, he almost gets killed, but he survives at the end. So. But yes, it is a real thing there. Sean on Sean Ryan to be great. I can tell him my stereo story. Yeah, I can talk to the glowy who worked for Global Resource staff when he's doing like he's putting in work for the CIA. Be like, hey man, let me tell you about the time I almost shot the stereo in my own fucking house. You know, you were dealing with like Al Qaeda, and I thought the Jackal was trying to kill me. And snacks for $9.99. £9.99 sterling. I'm a gray and Scottish. Not the King sterling. Not the King sterling, just sterling. Not the King sterling. So, let's see here. Chris Diaz is saying, in the running theory for tonight, some say he's announcing the departure from NATO. He can't do that. We're bound by treaty, so we can only leave by treaty. And we don't need to leave NATO, but Europe needs to realize they're the vassal state. Europe can't defend itself. They need us. So Europe's like, oh, we'll forward wherever you want. It's like, you can't. You can't. So that's not going to happen. Others say he's shifting war powers against Iran. I don't think he's going to move on Iran. No, I don't think he's going to move on Iran. It's going to be towards China, and it needs to be towards China. The Japanese aircraft carrier, the Kaga, has been refitted and, passed new construction updates. So it's on the seas. All right. Let's see here. You have a better chance of getting on Sean Ryan than Sean. Yes. So, you know how he has to help out our greatest ally, Sean. Oh, I'm sure he does. But he got Jared and Ivanka in his ear right now as much, whispering with their forked tongues. Hopefully they're staying away. So, all right, chat. Well, I think that's it for now. We are going to get ready for the Trump stream. The Emperor of Mankind, he will be addressing everybody at 9 o'clock. We'll start up about 10 minutes till. And then after that show, there's going to be, or after Trump speaks, there will be the response from Alyssa Slotkin from Michigan. And I don't mean Slutkin, I meant Slotkin. She is a career glowy for the CIA. Yes, you heard that right. She's a glowy, and she's going to be giving the response for the Democrats. You're like, really? Is that who you guys had to use? Somebody from the intelligence community? That just seems a little retarded, but that's just me. What do I know? Are we going to watch the response? Hell yeah, we are. We're going to watch these commies suffer. We're going to watch it together, chat. We're going to watch them suffer. So, with that said, guys, reading through this, I don't think Alyssa's case is not as strong as she thinks it's going to be. Do I think this is going to get dismissed on summary judgment? Probably not. I think that we'll get into discovery and it's going to crash and burn. And from there, there'll be a actual summary judgment motion. The motion to dismiss. She'll probably survive. But, summary judgment will kill this thing off. Alyssa ain't getting a goddamn dime. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Now, like I said, maybe I'll be wrong, but I got a feeling I'm right. Chat. That's just the nature of civil litigation. Courts don't like to kill it off too early. They let you at least get into discovery a little bit, and then they kill it. So, we are going all night. Yes, and Alyssa is going broke. Yes. But at least she's got a good job opportunity she could fall back on. Actually, full pun intended. Full pun intended there. So with that said, chat, I will see you guys in about 20 minutes. Remember, until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. And I guess for Alyssa, I could say, just because you suck dick for money doesn't make you a whore. I mean, we all know you're lying if that's the case. But yes, if you do suck dick for money, that does make you a hoe. Makes you a hoe that does hoe activities with hoe tendencies. Thank you all, chat. I will see you guys in a little while. Take care.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the